All right, review for the Unit 5 Part 2 quiz. So it says use synthetic division to find all of the roots given a 0 or a factor. So notice two different ways of doing this in 1 and 2. Number 1 says this is a solution. That means 3 is going to go in the box. I'll get back to that. Number 2, it says x plus 3 is a factor. That means you have to set x plus 3 equal to 0, which is negative 3, which means that is the number that goes in the box. So you have to be careful about the two different ways you might see this. All right? So back to number 1. We start off and look at this as a 3. So we have 3, 2, 1, and none. So we're good to go. So the coefficient 1, coefficient of my x squared, coefficient of my x, and my constant. Now, remember, I should end up with a 0 here because I know this is a solution. If I don't end up with a 0, I made a mistake. So remember, the process is drop down the 1, then multiply times 3. Straight down add, again multiply by 3. Subtract, that's negative 16. Multiply by 3, get negative 48, and that gives me 0. I know I did it correctly. Now, at this point, remember, if I started with x cubed, if I'm dividing x cubed by x to the 1, then I'm going to get x squared. So this is 1x squared plus 6x minus 16. And of course, equal to 0. All right? Now I'm going to factor. I need two numbers that multiply to give me 16 that differ by 6. So I have 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Well, that's going to be 2 and 8. Now remember, it's guess and check, not guess and hope or pray. So I need more positives than negatives. So that's plus, that's minus. If I check it, that gives me negative 2. That gives me 8. 8 minus 2 is 6, and 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Now, I'm not done yet. Remember also, we talked about, remember, this is one of my solutions right off the bat. Then, my other solutions are set these equal to 0. So x equals positive 2, and x equals negative 8. Those are my 3 solutions. All right, number 2. Notice I have a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, and a none, so I'm good to go. So that's 1, 8, 11, negative 32, and negative 60. Those are all my numbers. Again, I should end up with 0 here. Drop the 1, multiply. Add straight down, 8 minus 3 is 5. Multiply. Positive times negative is negative. Add straight down. 11 minus 15, or 11 plus negative 15 is negative 4. Multiply. It's going to be positive 12. Negative 3 times negative 4. Add straight down. Negative 20. Multiply by negative, I get positive 60, and yes, that gives me 0. I start off with a 4. I divide it by x to the 1. That's going to give me x to the 3. So this is x cubed, okay, plus 5x squared minus 4x minus 20 equals 0. I'm going to factor by grouping. I'm going to take out an x squared here. That's going to give me x plus 5. I should end up with x plus 5 here. They should be the same. Okay? What do I need to take out? Well, negative 4x divided by x is negative 4. Negative 20 divided by negative 4 is 5. It works. So that's x squared minus 4, x plus 5. Don't forget, this x plus 3 comes down, or this just comes down to my answers. Doesn't matter. All right? So I'm going to have negative 3 for an answer. I'm going to have negative 5 for an answer. And you might be able to do this in your head. Okay, there's two ways to do this. This factors to x plus 2, x minus 2 because it's a difference of squares. Or you can solve and say x squared equals 4, square root both sides. Either way, you get plus or minus 2. And there's my four answers. -3, -5, +2, and -2. Moving on. List all the possible real zeros. Okay, so this one's an easy one because the factor here, or the coefficient is 1, right? So it's all the factors of this over the factors of this. Well, anything over 1 is itself. So basically, you just need all the factors of 4. And remember, you need plus or minus. So plus or minus 1, 2, and 4. That's it. Okay? So that's plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4. All right? That's the quickest way to do it. Technically, it should look like this, but I will take the shorthand. All right? Now, for this one, you have the factors of 24 over the factors of 5. Okay? So you have to list all the factors of 24, which are going to be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 6, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6, over the factors of 5. Okay? That's the shorthand version of it. The technical long way is, first off, listing all the plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24, then all the fractions of 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 6/5, 8/5, 12/5, 24/5. But we'll accept that answer right there. All right. Use synthetic division to find all the roots, solutions of the polynomial. Now notice what's different here from 1 and 2. 1 and 2 either told you a solution or a factor. Now we're giving you nothing. But remember, as we talked about in the lesson, there's a way to get the information. Okay? You're going to put this in your graphing calculator. So, x to the third power. Remember, you have to come back down. Otherwise, you'll end up keep typing all up here. Minus, use the big subtraction sign, 4x squared. Plus x plus 6. Now, it looks like it's going through whole numbers, but we're not sure, so we go to the table. Wow, that's a mistake. I don't know why it's that big. So let's start at 0. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. All right, it looks like it goes through and hits 0 at -1, 2, and 3. So in a way, we're kind of cheating here. We already know the answers. It's -1, 2, and 3. I can write that down, like up here. -1, 2, 3. Still have to show the work. Still have to do the math. But here's the cool thing. You're going to have 3 answers. I already know all 3 answers. Use it. You just have to prove that those are the answers. So now, you basically choose which one do you want to start with. Any one of them. -1, 2, 3. I'm going to do -1. So I have my cubic, my square, my linear. I'm good to go. I don't have any zeros. Don't have anything missing to put in. So 1, -4, 1, 6. Now I know -1 works. So this should be a 0 at the end. So I drop the 1. Multiply by -1. Add straight down. Multiply by -1. Add straight down, multiply by -1, and sure enough, I get a 0. I started with cubed. That means this is x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Here's the beauty. I already know what the answers are. They're 2 and 3. Since they're positive 2 and 3, and since this is a negative here, they must add up. Therefore, when I set these equal to 0, x minus 2 gives me 2, x minus 3 gives me 3. My answers are -1, 2, and 3. On to number 6. I have 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm good to go. I just need my handy-dandy calculator. I'm going to move it over here so I can see it. I'm going to clear out whatever I have. I'm going to put in x to the third power. Come down. Minus 3x squared. Minus 6x. Plus 8. I'm going to graph it. It looks like negative 2, 1, and 4. Let's check. Negative 2, 1, 4. Bingo. I actually have all the 3 answers. Negative 2, 1, and 4. Now, sometimes you only get 2 of them. Like maybe the third answer was 1/2, and you don't see that on the graph. You'll see it on the graph, but you don't know where it is, and you don't see it on the table. That's okay. You at least have a head start. I can pick any one of these numbers and go from here. Okay? I'm going to go with the 1. Easy math. So I have 1, negative 3, negative 6, and 8. Again, I know 1 is a factor, so this should be 0. I drop the 1. I multiply. I add. I multiply. I add. I multiply, and I get 0. Now I'm going to factor. Oh, my bad. I forgot to write. I started with x cubed, so this is x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Got ahead of myself. Too excited. All right, I already know my answers. Okay, they're negative 2 and positive 4. Now, that doesn't mean I write negative 2. Remember, I want more negatives, right? This is the answer, negative 4. This is the answer. Sorry, my bad. This is the answer, positive 4, and this is the answer, negative 2. I know that from the calculator. Therefore, I need to make this negative and this positive, because I need more negatives to get negative 2. And negative 4x plus 2x gives me negative 2x. So, bring this down. I have my 3 answers. X equals 1, 4, and negative 2. Easy peasy. All right, number 7. All right. Find the 0 solutions using any method. All right. Well, since this is a 4-1, now I could do synthetic division. I could put this in the calculator, find one of the answers, and one of them does work. Okay. So I could do that. Or I could, to mix it up, I'm going to do factor by grouping. So what can I take out? I can take out a 4x squared. And that's going to give me x plus 1. Because this times that will give me 4x cubed, and this times that will give me 4x squared. I know I need this to be x plus 1. They need to match. What will make this look like this? Pulling out a negative 1. So that gives me 4x squared minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay? Well, this factors difference of 2 squares to 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. So there's my 3 answers. I'm going to subtract 1 and divide by 2. I'm going to add 1, divide by 2, and subtract 1. There's my 3 answers. 1/2, negative 1/2, negative 1. So if you would have put this in the calculator, the only one you would have seen in the table is that one. But you could have started that and done synthetic division. I just wanted to mix it up. All right, this one I'm going to factor, but I need this over here first. Okay, now remember, this is really the same concept as this, only with one change. So here, I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply, give me 40, that differ by 6. Well, 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, there we go. So 4 and 10. And I would do x and x. I want more negatives than positives. I would look like this. This factors the exact same way, everybody. The only difference is instead of x, it's going to be x squared because it has to match this in the middle. So it's going to be plus 4 and minus 10. Okay, this one I'm going to do the work on because it's a little harder in your head. So this one's going to be x squared plus 4 equals 0. Now you could factor this using the sum of squares, or you could just do x squared equals negative 4, square root both sides. That would give me plus or minus always. Square root of 4 is 2, and the I comes out because of the negative 1. And then this one, forgot to make it squared there, sorry, is going to be x squared minus 10 equals 0. X squared equals positive 10, square root both sides. Again, that's going to be plus or minus square root of 10. So there are my answers. There's my 4 answers. And none of them are nice. Easy numbers you'd see on the table. Okay, number 9. It says write the polynomial function in standard form. So this is going to require an extra step. I'll tell you right now where people make a mistake here and lose points every time. So this is x equals 0, x equals 3, and x equals 4. Lead coefficient of 1. That means just don't put anything in front of the x. So what happens here is we just got to work backwards. This is just x. If we move this over here, it would be x minus 3 equals 0. So that's my next one. And this one would be x minus 4 equals 0. So that's my next one. This is where people stop all the time. Factored form. You need to go through now and multiply. I'm going to do these two first. And then I'll send the x in. So x times x is x squared. I'm going to get negative 4x, negative 3x, and plus 12. This combines to negative 7x plus 12. Then I send the x in. X cubed minus 7x squared plus 12x. And that's it. That's standard form. All right, same idea here. Just going to skip ahead a little bit. 4 would give me x minus 4. Negative 5 would give me x plus 5. And negative 2 would give me x plus 2. Now I'm just going to multiply. I'm going to do these for 2 first again because it's easier. Most people have it going left to right. So I'm going to have x minus 4 sitting out here, waiting. And I'm going to get x squared. I'm going to combine it here to save space. 5x and 2x, 7x. Whoops, too early. And last but not least, plus 10. Okay. Now I'm going to send the x in. So that's going to give me x cubed plus 7x squared plus 10x. Now I'm going to send the negative 4 in. Negative 4x squared, negative 28x, and negative 40. The x cubed is by itself. 7x squared minus 4x squared is plus 3x squared. 10x minus 28x is negative 18x. And the minus 40 just tags along. And that's standard form right there. Okay. Number 11 is the same thing, just looks different. Look at where our answers are. We have x equals negative 4. And we have x equals 2. Well, one thing, x minus 4, x equals negative 4, becomes x plus 4. X equals 2 becomes x minus 2. But remember, oh, and I missed one right there at 0. X equals 0, which usually just we put an x right out in front. Okay? Just like we did up here. Okay? Now, that's only 3 x's. And this is obviously a quartic because it's a w. All right? Remember, we have a error. We have a bounce right here. It's bouncing off of that -4, which means this should be 2. All right? And there's our answer. X times x plus 4 squared times x minus 2. Anytime you have a bounce, that's what happens. Number 12. Oh, sorry. Got to answer the questions now. Degree. Well, it's even. Whoops. My bad. It's even. It's a 4. Okay? Lead coefficient. Well, it's going up, so it's positive. In behavior, this means as it's going left, okay, as it's going this way, where's it going? It's going up towards positive infinity. This means as it's going right towards positive infinity, where's it going? It's also going up towards positive infinity. Identify the key characteristics from the given. Okay. First off, this answer is somewhere between, -7 and -8. It doesn't hit on it, so it's a fractional answer. And this means that we have an I answer, a square root of a negative, because it does not have a solution there. And, it is a cubic, but this, if it was up further, would have bounced, so that would be our 1, 2, 3. But we have 2 non-real answers and 1 real answer. So it is odd. It's a cubic. It's going the opposite direction of normal, so that's negative. All right? And remember, here's a quick way to remember this. If you forget, you're on the test, you don't remember which way is which. Very simple. Here's a cubic. Right there. Or, let's say this is cleared out. You real quickly just put in x to the 3rd power. There you go. That is a positive. Negative would be going the other direction, like the one we have in the problem here. So it is negative. Okay? Remember, we're not dealing with the local minimums and maximums. Okay? Number of real zeros. That's this one right here. That's actually hitting the x-intercept. That's 1. Now, as it's going left, it's going up. So left, up, towards positive infinity. As it's going right, it's going down, towards negative infinity. That's it. All right. Number 13. Sketch this graph. So right at the bat, I know I have a 0 at 4, -3, and 7. 4, -3, and 7. 4, 7, and -3. All right? If I want to, just to be more sure of myself, I can go to my calculator and put this in. So clear it out. Again, let the calculator do the heavy lifting. Let the calculator double check your work. There's no reason not to let it help you ace this quiz. So there's x minus 4. There's x plus 3. And here's x minus 7. Hit graph. Okay? There it is. It's a positive one. So it's generally looking like this. Up, down, up. All right? So as it goes left, it's going down. As it's going right, it's going up. That's a general positive one. And there are my numbers, -3, 4, and 7. You can tell it's off the chart. So if I'm going to roughly sketch this, it's basically doing this, going off the chart, coming down, going off the chart, and coming back up. Which way? How deep is it going down? How high is it going up? Don't care. That's just a general gist of it right there. Okay, so the degree is a 3. The lead coefficient is 1x times 1x times 1x. That's 1. The type cubic. In behavior, we already talked about, it's doing this, right? As it's going left, it's going down. As it's going right, it's going up. Okay, solutions, we already said, are -3, 4, and 7, and they're all pass-throughs. They all have a coefficient, I'm sorry, my bad, an exponent of 1, so the multiplicity is 1, and we don't need this. All right, this one will be a nasty one to graph. So let's just look at the main numbers. First off, we have -3, 1, 1, and 1. Well, this 3 means it's going to be 1 times 1 times 1, still 1. This 2 means 1 times 1, still 1. All right? So basically, we have -3 times a bunch of 1s. Okay? So my lead coefficient is -3. Okay? Now, what is my degree? Well, I have 2 here, 3 here, 2 here, and 1 here. 2 plus 3 is 5, 6, 7, 8. My degree is 8. My end behavior, well, it's a negative. Okay, so remember, let's say it was just a 2 or a 4. Okay, if it was a 2 and a negative, it'd be like this. If it was a 4, it'd be like this. So basically, what's happening? Both times it is going down in both directions. It doesn't matter whether it's a 4, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Being negative, both arrows are ending up down. All right? Now I'll clean this up for you a little bit. What are my solutions? Well, if I set this equal to 0, I can do the work, but basically, I'm going to divide by -3 and get 0, square root 0 and get 0. So that is one solution at 0. Okay? And it is squared, so it's a multiplicity of 2. So it's a bounce at 0. All right? Right here, if I set this equal to 0, I'm going to get 1 with a multiplicity of 3. If I set this equal to 0, I'll get -4 with a multiplicity of 2. And if I set this equal to 0, I'll get -3 with a multiplicity of 1. Oh, I forgot my domain range. I'm sorry about that on number 13. So let's look at this again. The domain. That's my x values. How far left and right is it going? Well, that's negative infinity to positive infinity. Easy enough. So I keep going left, keep going right. Now in that one, I forgot to put in my y, look at my y-intercept. So let's go to the table and just look for 0 is 84. It's right there. All right, now on this one, I did not put it in, so we're gonna have to put it in real quickly, but it's good practice. If you wanna hit pause or fast forward while I do this part, that's fine. So I'm gonna clear this out and put everything in. I'm not gonna need to graph it per se, but we'll see. -3x squared, okay? Parentheses, x minus 1, and that was to the third power. Whoopsie, I missed my -1 somehow. There we go. X minus 1 to the third power. Then I'm going to put in x plus 4 squared. X plus 4, close it, square it. Man, I'm having trouble with the button's not responding. X plus 4 squared. And last but not least, x plus 3. Let's see if this will work the first time. X plus 3. There we go. If I go to my table, 0, 0, which we knew that it had a 0 as a solution. So we know that right there, 0, 0. We also know 1, -3, and -4. 1, -3, and -4. You can see it's going to be a really tight one. Right? Domain, it's going to go left and right forever. And my y-intercept is 0. Now let's see what it looks like. All right, so I was just double checking something because this is one where the calculator is not working well. I double checked the math. Did it on a handheld calculator, and it looks like this when it should look like this. It's missing something over here. So we'll just go right to the graph and kind of sketch it out. So remember, our numbers are at 0, 1, -3, and -4. Okay? Now, we know that it is a -8th. So they're both gonna end up down here. All right. So that means it bounced off of here, went way up here, came down, bounced off of 0, and did this. Again, not pretty. You don't have to be pretty. That's just a general idea. You got to get the general idea of what's happening with the bounces and the pass-throughs. That's really all we're really concerned about. Okay, number 15. So right off the bat, if we look at this is going to be a 0. This is going to be a 3 and a -1. So 0, 3, and -1. The 3, so 0, 3, -1. The 0 is going to have a multiplicity of 1. Right? The 3 is going to have a multiplicity of 2, which is going to be a bounce, and there's going to be a multiplicity of 1. Right? We have the degree of 1x, 2, 3, 4. So the degree is 4. The lead coefficient is 3 times 1 times 1 times 1. That's 3. Okay? This is a quartic. Right? Which means it's going to be a W or an M, right? So let's put in our calculator since we're going to like to use this anyway. So turn this on, go to y equals, clear it out. So we have 3x, we have parentheses, x minus 3, parentheses, squared, parentheses, x plus 1. Graph. Should be a general W shape, which it is. I mean, not a good W, but both are ending up positive infinity, okay? It's a general W idea, all right? Notice we have a bounce here. That's right there. And then at 0, we have a pass-through, and -1, we have a pass-through, okay? So both of these are going up towards positive infinity. So when we go to graph this, obviously it's coming from up here. It looks like it's going somewhere down there, somewhere up here, and bouncing. Again, it does not have to be a work of art. Okay, we don't need this because we have our 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, number 16. Almost through. Sketch a graph of the polynomial using synthetic division. Right. So state all the possible zeros of the polynomial. Find 1 0 using synthetic division. So first off, we're going to have all the potential ones are going to be plus or minus 1, 2, 3, and 6. Okay, those are all the factors of 6. Again, we're not going to spend time guessing and checking and trying a bunch of different ones. We're going to be smart about this and put in x cubed minus 7x minus 6. And we're going to find the first one to start with. And I screwed that up. So this is what I'm talking about. Make sure you always do the arrow down because otherwise it'll be messed up. So let's try that again. X to the power 3, arrow down, minus 7x minus 6. The graph, positive cubic. Looks like maybe -1, -2, and maybe 3, but let's check it. Maybe there are fractions. Oh, we have -1, -2, and 3. Nailed it. So -1, -2, and 3. We know those are our answers. -1, -2, and 3. So it says find one using synthetic division, so we're just going to pick one. I'm going to pick 3. Right? Now, it's a tricky one because, look, we're missing an x squared. So it's going to be 1, 0, negative 7, negative 6. Now here's the beauty of this. It says you have to do synthetic division to get full points on this, just like on the quiz. Let's say you forgot the 0, and you did 3, and you did 1, negative 7, negative 6. Now remember, this should be 0 because we've already proven that that's a factor. So real quickly here, let me do the math. 1, multiply 3, negative 4, multiply 3, negative 18, not 0. That tells you you made a mistake. Because we know 3 is a solution, we should end up with a 0. Now let's do it. 1 times 3, 3 times 3, 9 minus 7 is 2, times 3 is 6, boom, 0. Now factor. This is x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. I need two numbers that multiply, give me 2 that add up to 3. Well, there's really only one choice. 1 and 2, both positive because this is positive. So guess what? There are my solutions, negative 1, negative 2 right there, right? So I put my negative 1, I put my negative 2, I put my 3, come back to my calculator, hit graph. What's it doing? There we go. What's my y-intercept? Just for the heck of it, might help. My y-intercept is negative 6. So I'm going to put a dot right there. Because that tells me it was doing this, coming down. That's good enough. Just a general idea. Okay, so factored form is x plus 1, x plus 2. Where's my third answer? Bring this bad boy down. X minus 3 would give me positive 3. That's factored form. My three solutions are negative 1, negative 2, and positive 3, all with a multiplicity of 1 because they're all pass-throughs. The degree, it's a cubic. My lead coefficient is 1. You can see that right up there. As it's going left, it is going down. As it's going right, it is going up. And my y-intercept we said was negative 6. And this is the last one, I believe. There we go, last one. Graph the polynomial using a graphing calculator. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in. Now notice this is a negative. So I go to my graphing calculator. First thing I'm going to do, clear it out, put this little negative here. Now it's going to be x to the third power. Come down. Minus 3x squared. Plus 2x. Minus 6. Notice it's going to be going the other direction now. Okay, because it's negative. That makes sense. Now, what's my degree? It's a cubic. My lead coefficient is negative 1. And I'm just going to use it doesn't want us to factor or do any of that, so I'm going to get some main points here, off of here. All right. I don't have any actual zeros, solutions, so I'm just going to put some of these numbers. 0, negative 6, 1, negative 8. Negative 1, negative 10. Negative 4, positive 2. That's pretty much all I've got that I can graph. Everything's off the grid. So now when I hit graph, I'm just going to recreate this. So it's coming like this. Again, off the grid, so it's coming back up. I missed it. And coming back down. That's your general gist of it. So as it's going left, it is going up. As it's going right, it's going down. And that's it.